Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. Now, some of you loved my 2026 predictions. I have done two elements of that, a detailed prediction as well as 12 positive insights for 2026. And many of you sent comments that Dev, why don't you give a series on Rahu Ketu axis as well to give us a better clarity as to what can be anticipated from them? Now, of course, the transit of Rahu and Ketu is not happening in terms of a sign shift all the way until December. However, we will be seeing nakshatra transits coming into picture. And very recently, I had released the Rahu in Shatabisha video. If you've not had a chance, I will, of course, urge you guys to put a quick search of Dev Astrology and you will be able to find out that video. Now, in today's video, what we're going to do is we are going to just get a short, brief glimpse into this Rahu Ketu axis and understand what it is going to mean for us. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to jump into the video and give you an insights about the key dates that are going to be coming into picture, which is going to give you a lot of clarity as to what should be happening at what time period. And the structure of this video is also in a way where you are going to understand the shifts coming in different phases and the eventual conclusion for your sign. So guys, as you can see on your screen here, I have called out the key dates that are going to be coming into picture, wherein Rahu has recently, at the time of the recording of this video, already transited into the Shatabisha nakshatra earlier in December 2025. Later, Rahu will be making a shift into the Dhanisht nakshatra, which will happen mid of August 2026. And finally, the shift is going to come into Makar Capricorn Rashi on December 5th, 2026. Whilst on Ketu's side, we see that Ketu is currently placed in Purv Falguni nakshatra in 2025. But as you enter 2026, on March 29th, Ketu will get into Magha nakshatra. Now guys, that is its own nakshatra where it becomes extremely powerful. And eventually, Ketu will transit into Ashlesha nakshatra on December 5th, 2026, when it enters into the sign of Cancer. Taurus. For you folks, Rahu is stationed in your 10th house of career, profession, karma, whilst Ketu is placed in your 4th house. And this is going to bring that classic public success, public status versus your personal or private sacrifice into picture, because you are going to be oscillating in this 4-10 axis now for the major part of the year. The shift is going to happen in the last leg, which we are of course going to be touching upon. But this presence of the kingmaker Rahu in Vedic astrology in the 10th house is indicating that this is a time where you are going to be obsessed with your public status, your fame, the kind of authority, respect that you gain from the masses around you. It's going to be a time of obsessive effort coming in with respect to your karma, from your career perspective, your education perspective, your day-to-day activities that you are doing to build and achieve that larger vision, or from your business initiatives as well, if you are self-employed for that matter. Whilst Ketu is sitting bang opposite to it in your 4th house, creating that vacuum, that hole of sorts, which could be impacting your peace of mind, your comfort zone, your mother for that matter, her health, your sensitivity and emotions towards your domestic affairs, your family life, or complete disassociation towards the build that you are having, the assets that you've created, but more towards the outside perspective that is going to be driving you during this period. Now, we are going to decode this year in terms of breaking it down in terms of phases. And the first phase starts for you from January to March 29th, in the first quarter itself, guys. Now, this is the time when Rahu is placed in the Shatabisha nakshatra. We've already done a detailed video on that. Please go ahead and watch it if you have not. And Ketu is placed in Purva Falguni nakshatra. And this is a time where you are going to see that the Ketu is in the nakshatra of Purv Falguni, which actually denotes your home sector. It denotes your, being a star of comfort for that matter. It's a Venus's nakshatra. And this first phase is going to be about 3 key areas. Number 1, Technology selling and healing. Rahu is here in the 10th house, obsessed towards your activities, your job, your karma, your career, your business, where he would want to find solutions. You are going to face obstacles. He's giving an aspect to the 6th house, but you are going to be solution oriented and taking up roles that bring leadership in your life, that bring authority of sorts, where you are able to control large masses is going to become your priority. And if you're working in the tech sector, in medicine, healthcare, in terms of media firms as well, for that matter, Rahu is in Shatbisha. So medicine has to be kept intact whilst making those considerations. There is a very strong possibility of big success coming in your life. In fact, if you are operating in the tech horizontal itself, leveraging technology in whatever you do, you have a small mom and pop store and you want to sell something, if you bring in some sort of technology integration, if you bring in Rahu's ability to market yourself, this is going to be a stupendous time for you from that perspective. Then as you move further, your workplace is going to bring certain degree of secrecy along with it. After all, Rahu is in Shatabisha Nakshatra in the 10th perspective, and this means that you could either get involved in highly confidential projects. Your research, your education could be in areas which is of high importance but confidential in nature, or if you are coming in from other walk of life, like being in politics, taking certain initiatives from a public welfare perspective, but hidden from the public eye, hidden from the political aspects of the same. At the same time, it brings the risk of some sort of political activity being conspired against you as well, because Rahu is in Shatabisha. But the good part is that you will have the ability to use this information wisely and not gossip or squander that opportunity. Bring the intelligence of Rahu, the shrewdness of Rahu in terms of making things positive for yourself. I am not at all recommending that you embark on any kind of a bad karma. But at the end of the day, Rahu can give you the strength to weigh your options and understand what is best suited for you. Then the third bit is that there is going to be some bit of a discomfort coming in terms of luxury, because Ketu is placed in Purv Phalguni Nakshatra, that is of Venus. And he is going to find himself almost bored. There is indifference of sorts. Maybe you don't like the furniture that you have at home, you don't like the kind of equipment that you might have. You might want to renovate, exchange certain items, get something new, but you will not necessarily be inclined towards luxury. You are going to be more utility oriented from that perspective. But something is going to ick, something is not going to settle, or there could be a reflection in a psychological form where your mental and emotional peace seems to be squandered, lost. Many of you guys, Taurus, could already be feeling with the exhaustion that is coming into play thanks to the efforts that you're putting in the outer world. Now you have to see that Rahu is giving an aspect to your second house from here, and that is where you've got to be careful whilst making your personal interactions at a professional space. So be watchful of your communication, of your speech. You could either come across too magnanimous, pompous maybe, or misunderstood for what you're trying to articulate. So be very careful and measured in your words, in your speech when you're interacting with people. Then as you enter the second phase, this is a time when Rahu is in Shatabisha whilst Ketu is entering the nakshatra of Magha. Guys, this period is from March 29th all the way till August 23rd, and Magha is the own nakshatra of Ketu. There is a very strong possibility that some sort of ancestral home connection, some sort of powerful connection with respect to your roots, your birthplace, your hometown might come into picture, might come to the fore during this period itself. The key bit during this phase would be that number one, there is going to be a shift in your mother's spirituality, transformation coming in her life through spiritual means. She could be losing her mental and emotional peace as well. And guys, it may not be a bad idea for yourself to proactively connect with her, see if there are any potential health issues that are undetected, undiscovered at this point in time, but they could come into picture. Because guys, Ketu, when entering in its own nakshatra, is like twice as powerful during this phase. Then there is going to be a sense of karmic duty which is going to come in your mind towards your motherland, towards your mom for that matter. You might be thinking or wondering about why a certain emotional or physical distance, a separation of sorts has come into picture. So that internal battle is something which is going to magnify during this period, guys. Be watchful of her health, be watchful of your health as well. Meditation is going to be crucial during this phase. The second bit is some sort of ancestral property issues could come into picture, and this is a time where it's a time where you might forcibly or proactively might want to deal with old homes, land, property issues that have been off your radar, or they've not been seeing any kind of a movement. This is a pivotal time of that shift coming into picture in your life. You might have a sudden urge to sell like an old property, sell off your old land, move away from your birthplace as well. There could be a longing, but there could be a dethronification of sorts, if that's a word. Okay, so you could feel that heaviness creeping in. Ketu is coming into Maga and it depicts your throne as well. It's something regal, royal coming into picture in terms of nakshatras. So that is where a big grandeur of ancestral property is what alludes in our head. And then the third bit is going to be the office escape, because now your home is going to feel so heavy for you. You are going to feel so lost when in your personal time, or so engrossed that you might prefer that your office, your workplace, the effort that you're putting in, the preparation that you're doing is a better situation to be in. And you might, I was earlier alluding to at the start of the video that it's going to make people extremely workaholic by nature. Well, this is the biggest trigger coming into your life in phase 2, where you can feel that heaviness at your home and therefore prefer something outside. Now the important bit is Rahu is still sitting in Shatabisha and it is giving an aspect to your 6th house. So any kind of challenges coming your way, you will have massive advantage on your enemies over your obstacles. You would be almost like preempting problems during this period. However, you still might have to deal with home related issues. Some sort of competition will come up. Don't worry, you should be able to crush that competition at workplace. The third bit is going to come into picture from August 23rd till December 5th, guys. Now, this is a time when Rahu is entering Dhanishta Nakshatra, and that is the nakshatra ruled by Mars in your 10th house itself. The constellation of symphony of sorts coming into picture. And then Ketu continues in your Magha Nakshatra itself. Now, so you've got to understand Mars, as you can see on the picture as well here, is ruling your 7th house of business and 12th house of isolation and foreign connections. So it has some interesting, rulership for your chart. The first bit is a possibility of promotion is definitely coming into picture here. After all, Rahu, the planet of expansion, has entered into Mars Nakshatra, and this could be the peak opportunity of professional growth, new job opportunity, new shift in terms of recognition, elevation in terms of your role. All those kind of things can come into picture. Since it's in the 11th house, it can result into financial gains or in the fame as well. 10th house. Then you have to understand your public connect, your public status, your speech, your communication in that era, or maybe operating from a media perspective, social media perspective as well, I would include in this case, is going to have a very strong possibility of virality. The second bit is your ambition is going to be aggressive during this period. You might become ruthless because that Martian energy of the soldier and expanded multifold is going to come into picture. You might prefer a corner office, that one big slot for yourself, something with respect to the applause, the title, that designation, all those things are going to become your priority, and you would want to move fast. You would want to act fast during this period. You will be bold in terms of your decision as well during this period to secure that objective. But on the third bit, you have to also understand that foreign career success is a very strong possibility because Mars is the ruler of the 12th house. So not just that, but business partnerships, collaborations, and some sort of an opportunity in terms of new relationships coming into picture, new connections because of your networking skills is a good chance here. Ketu is in your Maga Nakshatra itself, and it's aspecting your 8th house and 12th house, guys. So that's an important bit, because when you are finding that raise, that growth, that increment in your social status, in your promotion, in your designation, there could be a deep spiritual transformation as well, because whilst you love this adulation, you might want to look into and see that how hard did I have to work for it? Is this an illusion? Is it going to stay? Is it going to move ahead? So those kind of questions are also going to come into picture in your life. The last phase of this year, guys, is going to be about the grand release from December 5th onwards, when Rahu is entering the sign of Capricorn in Dhanishta Nakshatra itself, whilst Ketu enters Cancer sign. Now this is interesting. The number one transformation that you guys can anticipate with this shift is that there is going to be a shift of certain degrees from your career towards your wisdom, towards spirituality, towards learning new things, because now Rahu is coming in towards the 9th house. It wants to learn, it wants to set new protocols for itself. New thought process is going to come into picture. You would stop chasing that material success itself in your career and work or whatever, but you would be more focused towards defining the principles of life, like defining the meaning of life in general. That sort of a thought process is going to come into picture. I anticipate definitely a possibility of some sort of a pilgrimage coming in for many of you at a long distance. New college education, higher education possibilities are also on the rise. On the other side of the spectrum, Ketu is entering in your 3rd house, bringing in detachment from your siblings, from your neighborhood, from social media to a certain extent as well. For some cases, you might feel introverted, detached from the people around you, especially with your neighborhood and your siblings for that matter. And then comes the Ashlesha knot, the Gandanta, as Ketu is entering Ashlesha in the 3rd house itself. Now, this is the time that you might have to let go of a certain mental and emotional pattern, and you might have to adopt a new style of communication instead of holding yourself back, because that could be extremely difficult, given that Ketu is making it shift from the 4th towards the 3rd house. Now, the conclusive remedies or actions that you have to keep in mind, guys, that Rahu is in your 10th house for the most part of your career, and that is where it can prompt you to take shortcuts. It might prompt you to be greedy, and you've got to be very careful in terms of your karma. Do you really want to cheat and win, or is it the tougher, harder, longer path that you want to embark upon? Remedy is, don't do it. Don't fall for that temptation. The second bit is that since Ketu is in the 4th house, maybe donating something of comfort like a blanket, or giving something which is from your home, which is like which can be used at home itself by a homeless person who's living in shelter. Those kind of activities are going to at least help you retain your mental and emotional peace. And the last bit is that when Ketu is getting into Maga Nakshatra, guys, focus towards doing some sort of an activity, some way of worshipping your ancestors, as it is going to improve a lot in terms of the challenges that are coming in your life. Now, guys, if you've come this far, before you skip and jump onto any other video, my request is please support the effort and the insights that I bring to the table. Please support me by smashing that like button. Help me cross 500 likes for this video. Subscribe to my channel and tell me your comments, ideas as to what can I do to improve and get better. Thanks for watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.